Investors make millions when they're able to accurately predict where money's going to flow. And Trump's economic agenda is definitely going to shake things up. So, in today's video, we're going to be telling you how Trump's proposed policies could be affecting your investments.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.
So, welcome back, guys. I'm your bro Taylor.
And I'm your bro Ryan.
And like we said at the beginning, Trump's policies are set to shake things up now. With any president, it's no guarantee that all their policies will get passed. And of course, policies can change and adapt over time. So we're just going to present you with some information about how things could possibly change, how you could possibly see or expect things to change. Of course, do your own research. Be aware of what the current market kind of dictates and what the current news says. So diving right in, what are Trump's biggest policy points?
So in today's video, we'll be looking at immigration, tariffs, military, space, general deregulation, oil and gas, and tax cuts. Starting off with the first one of immigration. Throughout Trump's campaign, we've all heard him talking about how immigration is a problem. He plans to shut down the border and deport a lot of people back to their home countries. With that, you can kind of expect private prisons to get an increase in funding, because those that stay in the country after it's illegal will be sent to prison. So some of the stocks that you can expect to do really well during this time are Core Civic and Geo Group. Whether you agree or don't agree with this policy, that's not the point of this video. It's just saying, just like Taylor said, where the flow of money is going. And we can expect with what Trump said so far and the people that back him, that it's going to go towards those prisons.
Yeah, we've actually already seen an increase in these stocks right here as soon as Trump won the presidency.
True.
So people's already started investing into private prisons. Of course, like Ryan said, they're just naturally going to see increased traffic with his proposed policies. Now, again, what's you want to actually invest in is up to you. What you deem moral and all these things, that's up to you. We're just here to present you with information. And moving right along to the next point of tariffs, just a quick explanation of what tariffs are. They're a tax on imported goods. So if I'm an American company and I want to import goods, say from China or anywhere else in Asia, Europe, wherever it may be that Trump decides to impose these tariffs, I would have to pay an additional tax to receive those goods. Now, the hope is that this will promote people to either manufacture goods here or buy goods from America so that they can avoid that tax. Now, if it does work out that way, a lot of companies stand to benefit, like railroad companies, real estate companies, construction companies, because with manufacturing hopefully moving back to America, obviously you're going to have to build up more things, transport a lot of different goods and services. So a lot of people have been investing in private railroads. An example of one being the stock Union Pacific.
So looking at the next one on our list, military. So it's known that the United States spends a lot of money on military. Trump is a proponent of military spending and protecting the United States and the borders and all of that. So you can expect certain stocks that have a lot to do with the military to do really well. Those, for example, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon Industries or Technologies, to do really well just because that's where you're going to see the flow of money, because that aligns really well with what Trump said so far and what we saw in his last presidency.
Somewhat right in line with that is investing into space exploration. Trump has been a big proponent for this from the beginning. His last term, he already created the Space Force. Now, a lot of people are expecting more and more funding to go into space simply because he's teamed up with Elon Musk and everything. Now, while his company, SpaceX, is not a publicly traded company, there are other companies that a lot of people are investing in hopes that they will also be receiving this funding. For example, Rocket Lab is a publicly traded company. Now, it is hard to tell exactly how all this would work out given certain relationships, but again, we're just here to tell you where the money is expected to flow.
And next on our list is deregulation. We've already heard Trump talk a lot about how there's too much red tape, there's too much to get around, there's too much constraint on the economy for it to grow. So he's talking about rolling back a lot of those regulations. With that, that helps a lot of the banks, a lot of the hedge funds, Wall Street in general. So you can expect those bank stocks to do really well. Many banks are publicly traded companies. One, for example, we expect to do really well is JP Morgan Chase. They're already one of the biggest banks out there, and then you roll back some of those regulations, cut some of that red tape. It just opens the door for them to do even better.
Yeah, people are expecting them to do more business just because it's easier for them to.
And with the economy booming, potentially people getting raises, all of that, economy or companies can spend more money. You can expect more loans. You can expect people are less scared because they have more money in their pocket, in their bank account, and you can see more spending. And again, the banks do well.
Next on our list is oil and gas. This one's a little bit self-explanatory. Trump has simply expressed his desire to deregulate these companies to a certain extent, make it a little easier, drill baby drill. So obviously these companies will directly get impacted, say Exxon, Chevron, all these gas stations that you see everywhere. Those type of companies are publicly traded, so a lot of people have already begun investing in those areas.
Now, another thing we've heard Trump talk a lot about is generally tax cuts. He's even mentioned throwing out the idea of removing income tax as a whole, federal income tax, which is kind of crazy. These are just what we've heard him talk about so far. And just tax cuts are hard to predict how they'll exactly affect things. But typically, you can expect some company stock buybacks, which doesn't affect much other than inflating the value of their stock. It is a risk for the company in the sense that they're having to use money for buybacks. You can also see potential change in customer spending. So again, it's kind of hard to predict that and where people are going to spend that money next. But in general, with tax cuts, you'll expect more people to have more money, therefore more people to spend more money.
Yeah, and of course, in addition to this, there are a few things that Trump has proposed out there. We wanted to hit his biggest points that I'm sure a lot of people, if they've been keeping up with the news, which isn't always the most fun thing to do, but have heard of. So we wanted to point out, oh, there are some stocks that stand to directly or in some correlation benefit from his policies if they get passed. Now, there is no guarantee that that will happen. And again, we're not here to dictate what's right and what's wrong. You may disagree or agree with some of or all of these policies, but we just wanted to present this information.
And this is by no means advice to buy any of these stocks. Always consult a financial advisor and just do your own research. This is just informational. And it was fun to put this together because we're looking through the policies. You're hearing about them constantly, the news, Twitter, whatever you use. And so you're seeing these, you're like, what does that affect? Where does that make me want to spend money? Is this a good investment? So we put together this little list. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let us know in the comments if there's a stock you think we missed that's going to do really well this next couple of years.
Yeah.
Or if you think there's one on this list that's just going to bomb, just do really bad because
Yeah.
you just don't see that policy getting passed. Whatever it is, we're looking forward to it. There is one I personally am kind of playing with the idea that I didn't mention, so see if I see it in the comments. I'm looking forward to that. As always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next video.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.